I got to just tell you about this last account here, and then we'll pray. How God corrected me one day. Maybe it'll help somebody here. It's Easter Sunday. Why I'm thinking about this is because of an ordination service I just was part of. I laid hands on a new minister. I'll tell you about him in 1 minute. Just listen. It was Easter some years ago, and we had an outreach in the last service, and a girl in Carol's choir Italian girl, very unusual situation. Her parents divorced, and she just went nuts and started going from marijuana to mainline heroin use to prostituting to running around in Harlem and the Lower East Side. And I mean, just bizarre. This girl was out there. Then she got involved in the after hours Greenwich Village scene, which is unspeakable. And she found the Lord, lived next door to the church, would hear the choir singing, and something drew her from that. And she's living with a boyfriend who broke her nose in a fight one day, and just horrific. She gave her testimony in between some of the songs. No big production. And then I preached the gospel. You know, preaching the gospel is not brain surgery. It's very simple, the message. So people come forward, and at that time we were having 3 services a day, long, each 2 hours long. Then for 6 years we had 4 services every Sunday. 4 services every Sunday for 6 years I did, 2 hours long each service. That's why I look so old. I'm really 14 years old. Well, I was so tired at the end of the day that I just went to the edge of the platform, pulled down my tie, and sat down and draped my feet over the thing. They were praying with the people who I had invited to receive Christ. The prayer workers were working with them. And I was just sitting there, bone tired, bone tired. There had been lines outside the block. We had turned hundreds of people away. And as I was sitting there, I looked up at this middle aisle, and there's this black guy, looked about 50, disheveled, filthy, about the 3rd row. And he just kind of looked up at me sheepishly. I think he had a hat in his hand. Like, could I talk to you? And we have homeless people coming in all the time, bumming money, whatever. So as I sat there, I said to myself, I have to admit it, I'm ashamed, but I said it. What a bummer. What a way to end a Sunday. Some guy's going to hit me up for money. I've had such a good time preaching and ministering, and here's a guy probably wanting money for some more wine. This guy walked up. When he got within 5 feet of me, as God is my holy witness, he smelled a combination of street, sweat, urine, and manure like I had never smelled, human feces like I had never smelled in my life. It was so horrible that when he got close, I would inhale by looking away, and then I would talk to him, and then I'd look back to inhale because I couldn't inhale facing him. I'd just go, "What's your name?" And then, how long you been in the street? 6 years. "What's your name?" "David." "How old are you?" I couldn't believe it. 32. He looked 50. Hair matted, no teeth here in the front too. Wino, his eyes slightly glazed. "Where'd you sleep last night, David?" "Abandoned truck." "Okay. I'm tired. I'm tired. It's late. I keep in my back right pocket a money clip that also holds credit cards. I picked it out. Give him some money. In fact, I won't even get a worker. They're all busy praying. Usually we don't give money to people. We say, we'll take you to get something to eat. Hey, I'm tired. And I put the money out, and I was trying to fumble for it. He pushed his finger in front of me. He said, "I don't want your money. I want this Jesus that the girl was talking about." He said, "The one you were talking about," because he said, "I'm not going to make it. I'm going to die in the street." As God is my holy witness, I totally forgot about David. And I just started to weep for myself. I was going to give a couple dollars to someone God had sent in. See how easy it is? It's easy for us. I could make the excuse I was tired. There's no excuse. I was not filled with the Spirit. I was not seeing him the way God sees him. I was not feeling what God feels. But, oh, did it change. I totally forgot about him. I didn't care. He just stood there. He didn't know what was happening. And I pleaded with God, God, forgive me, forgive me. Oh, God, please forgive me. I am so sorry to represent you this way. I am so sorry. Here I am with my message and my points, and here you send somebody, and I'm not ready for it. Oh, God. And God baptized me afresh with a love. I'll tell you what it was like. Something came over me and in me. I'm not talking about fanaticism or emotionalism. I didn't start twitching like an animal or anything like that. Suddenly, I started to weep deeper, and he began to weep because he could feel what was happening in me, and he fell against my chest because I'm sitting there, and I put my arms around him, and there we just wept on each other, and as God is my witness, the smell of his person became the most beautiful aroma I had ever smelled in my whole life. And here's what I felt the Lord made real to me. If you and Carol don't love this smell, I can't use you. Because this is why I called you where you are. This is what you're about. You're about this smell. Smell it. But it's beautiful. David got changed around. Christ changed his life, but he was unusual. Dr. Roberts, he started memorizing portions of scripture that were incredible. That Thanksgiving, he spent it at my home. We got him a place to live. We hired him in the church to do maintenance. Got his teeth fixed. Handsome guy. When he came out of the hospital, they detoxed him in about 6 days. He was at Thanksgiving at my house. Then he spent Christmas at my house. And while we were all exchanging presents, he pulled out this little thing and he said, but this is for you. And I looked at it and I said, David, because we had all got presents, all my kids got presents. They were so happy for David. And he gave me this package, and inside was a little white hanky. It's the only thing he could afford. He gave me a little hanky. But listen. A year later, I hadn't given his testimony, and the minute he took the mic and began to speak, I said, this guy's a preacher. I just told you I ordained someone. It was him. He's an associate he's an associate pastor of a church in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And I was this close to saying, here, just, I'm busy. I'm a busy preacher. I wrote Fresh Wind, Fresh Fire, by the way, Book of the year. We can get so full of ourselves.